Hello, everyone, and welcome. Welcome to the Space Travel Simulation Testimonials for Saturday, June 11th, 2022. This is a broadcast of the Kesh Foundation Spaceship Institute Education Department and part of the public teachings in English. My name is Rick Crammond, and I'll be host today. And we are joined with Mr. Mayran Kesh of the Kesh Foundation, who will be presenting today's testimonials and running the show. Hello, Mr. Kesh. Are you ready to go today?
Yes, good morning, good day to you, good afternoon to you, whenever you listen to this series of Knowledge Seekers Workshop from Kesh Foundation Spaceship Institute. We are back in with some more little passing on information and knowledge in what we have gained and what you knowledge seekers now adding on. For a long time, we've been teaching, we shared knowledge, we brought some of you in, you shared what you tested or made at home. And in a way, for the first time, 10 years of teaching, solid, over 20 years of spreading the knowledge. Now you have become what we call the testers of the technology. You are there now to, in a way, pilot us to space. We are learning a lot. We have brought a lot of new understanding in the second day of the test, and it has brought us new insight. The first day we were trying to find the parameters of the system. As I explained to you in the past time, that we started with what we call the single system. This was what we wanted to do. This is what was, if you remember, the combination of the system was, we have a room made for the what we call the flight simulation. That's your entrance door. You have 3 chairs on either side. We have controlling systems on the background. We have a unit here and we have a unit here. Each one carries 2 chairs. And last time, the first day, we just tested this system to find its parameters, to find what it is. And we brought the second system into operation on Friday. So now we have 2 systems running at the same time. And we have seen some wonderful results. We see some interaction results as the knowledge seekers, some of them know each other, some of them don't know each other. We do a lot of tests at the same time. This time we had 10 people on Friday. So the usual procedure, 1, 2, 3, each you go up and then you enter the system. The same 1, 2, 3, and then you enter the system. In this process, we now have added a new dimension because we are looking for a further development. What we do in different positions and different time, when we have 4 people in the room, when they go through the process, we get them to stand in the middle. That we don't use the systems, we use the environment. And we are assessing how the environment, without being in the system, is creating conditions and how it's assessing. Because this is what is going to be next step for us, is that we will remove, maybe in a short time, the systems from the room. And more or less, the room becomes what we call the system. This is now, with testing, we see it's doable because we see people still having effects and emotion inside. You have to remember, in a very simple way, that these 2 systems here are what we call that infinity loop condition, which means they are now in working with each other, trying to balance each other. This system is set for the rotation of the fields this way. This system is set for rotation this way. And there are other characteristics in the design. So what we see and we tested, if you look at again about the height of the room, and your two systems are here, we stand you in the middle here. When the system gets going, we start hearing noises in a very peculiar, specific way. Noises is a buzzing noise. We've seen this one in tests in China, that we hear noises at this level, but it is totally silent at this level. When we go on our hands and knees, we don't hear the interaction because this is at the level of the, what we call central line of the system. The systems, when we go this way, the noise goes. When we go this way, the noise goes. So the interaction between the system in this level, between the reactors, is predominantly noisy. You hear it, it's a physical noise. In China, we could hear literally talking to each other. Now we started the systems, we still what they call matching it up and taking it up. We came across some beautiful understanding. Now the two systems, because they're working together, they are working in this condition too. And when I walk around, I hear different noises according to what happens in these places. So we see how the whole system structure is working with each other. But there are other matters which, as part of the research we are doing, we find out how things will turn out. We have had a very interesting development this time. We can test only about 10 to 12 people a day. We start from 10 o'clock, more or less, and we go all the way till 6, 7 o'clock at night for 10 people. It's not just half an hour being in the system. It's being in the system till we see what develops. And what happens is now with some people, we go like this, they go into the seat, and then we ask them to change seat to the other one to see how they react between the two systems. And or we put them in this system and we ask them to go in the other system for another half an hour, whatever. So this is not you coming in, I have half an hour time. You're in there for us to learn, to see, to understand, to position people, men with men, men with women, men as a captain, women as a captain, and we're developing a good picture of what is going on, what the system capability are coming up gradually. On Monday and Wednesday, we have two more groups. These are the German groups, and maybe a couple of people outside. Next week and the week after, we hear that we'll have the Italian groups coming in daily blocks. Italians are bringing their wine, the pizza, the what you call the guitars, and they want to go to the moon and have a party. This is at least what we hear from them. We don't know if we're going to let them have a party, but we'll see. Hopefully by that time, we'll be able to allow them to have a party in this area. And the interesting part is how they will feel. We have to prepare them one by one and just literally set them on the ground or set them on something till the others join in, because they all have to go through the system before they come in the center. We have to all go through the process, and we'll see what happens. Last week, on the first day test, we saw different conditions. We heard the gentleman going on the moon, but just felt on his legs. This time, because the fields are much, much stronger, you have to realize now we are dealing with a totally different ball game. We are dealing with a field in this environment. And we know exactly how we have set our system to work. This is a very simplistic structure. These reactors individually has made for their position, the way, and these reactors don't exist outside case condition. We have developed it in a way that is for what we want to achieve and the way we want to achieve it. What is interesting on Friday's test is amazing result. You got to understand, 20% of the people we see now for the second day, 2 out of 10, don't feel anything, don't reach anywhere. And we leave it, we are looking at how things are and see what's the next step. We're still following the gentleman who was blind, who came in the first day. And he still goes through the flight system. But what he tells us yesterday is that he's been blind for 6 years. He told us 4 years now. Yesterday we found out it's 6 years since he had a stroke. And what he tells us is that for the first time, he's got tears in his eyes. He sees through the vision of soul. We talk because we are in the space development. And he says the dark is not as dark as it was before. The black is not black anymore. It's grayish. And he says, feels blood in his eyes. We asked him to look through the vision of the system, the flight system. And we'll watch how he will do that. And would he be able to see with the vision of the soul? So we're going to the next step of the development, and we are watching a lot of things happen. We had some very interesting results on Friday. One of our, more or less 7 people, went to the flight. They went to the moon, they went to the other places. But what was important for us was to follow what happened on the moon. The first gentleman last time said he felt the sand of the moon and his system. This time, we have a passenger, a captain, who's been to the moon. He picks a rock. He can physically pick a rock. When he came out and he told us he can pick a rock up, we asked him to go back into the flight system, to the same system where he locked in and he could go to the moon. He says, you hear him. What brief of it is in German. Most of the things we need a German translator to come up to can translate this for us straight away. When we have the Italians, we need the Italian translator. Every language we have to understand. And what was explained to us is that we asked him to go back into the system. He didn't come to fly. He came to see how he feels with the system. But when we asked him to fly, he flew. But the interesting part is, I reported this to the NASA scientists because we have to sooner or later, in some certain ways, collaboration. We asked him to go back into the flight system to see if he can go back to the moon. He went to the system and instantaneously, he went back to the place he was. He could see things. We asked him to collect stones for us and put it on the side of the chair. We don't video inside, but we monitor. So he back in, they start picking the stones and we could see him dropping them off, but we can't see the stones. We realized where there is a what do you call it, need for a completion of a system in this part to convert. Then we gave him a glass to take with him. He took the glass with him. He can take the glass. He knows where the glass is. With him, he made 2 glasses, one wine in it and one whiskey in it. But we told him this time, forget about drinking, because when we gave them the glass, we told him, take a wine with you. We asked him to put the stones in the cup, and we watched him. When he went in, he picked up the stones and he put them in the cup. Now we have transferred this cup back into the material status system of EBISO, which is outside, to see if we can convert, because the system has no battery, but we see anything left from the residue of the energy working, we can convert the battery. Then we moved into the other system. And we said, can you now see if he can go back to the moon? Instantaneously, he can go to the moon. And he describes what he sees. You hear, I think it's got about 6 minutes of interview. And again, we saw him dropping the stones on the side. We now have a systematic, they know they take the grass with them. So it is what we thought possibilities. Now we can give people a hammer and a nail and whatever and go to Apollo landing site or find the moon landers, see what they don't work and see if we can get them to repair it. This was very important for us to see if they take it with them. Because in a dream, you cannot do. Somebody gives you, your mom gives you a cup of tea, give it to the auntie or grandma you're in a dream with. So now it shows this is a real situation. In the past, up to now, what we do is that we have the soul of the man and we engage it in the physicality of the man. Now what we've done is very clear. We have managed to work with two, bring the physicality in and engage it in the soul. But we talk, we communicate very simply with a physical side. Because when they come, it's like they clearly remember a lot of things. They tell you that they see the expansion of the soul by the third seat. So what we said for years now physically is proven. The systems, the work of the Keshe Foundation is 100% correct. We can allow the man to travel with the soul. You listen to them. One of them is 25 minutes. We put it at the back end. We have a very interesting condition. So we're going to call this pilot back into the room next couple of weeks once we sorted out this section of the work of the what we call conversion. Because we know they take the cup. We gave 2 cups and both cups were carried. So we have come to the point of what was the promise of Mitra, working of the soul and physicality together. You decide when to convert. We develop this more and more and to make it more accessible for us to understand. The interesting part is when we get to take material and then bring material back, how we handle it. I'll let you watch the video of this gentleman who went to the moon. We have another gentleman who went to the moon, but he didn't want to land, he wanted to fly. We have a, what we call a pilot who was very explicit, but he didn't want to come on the camera. That he could hold, he could pick up the sand of the moon and play with it, flowing through his finger, like Earth. None of them. You hear the gentleman, the pilot, he tells you he converted to the time and position. Moon is a slightly cooler. He tells you when he comes talking to me, he sees his normal hand in the physical dimension. When he goes to the moon, he sees a hand with the hair on it. It's like a what we call gorilla or whatever, because it's cold. He converts his thing. He hasn't seen the rest of it. We would like in the next step to carry a mirror and see people to tell us how they see themselves. If there's nobody with them, they see other souls. So we have broken into the taboo of understanding conversion. And we're going to take this further on. Listen to this gentleman. And I would like to have a translator before we start. If we have one, Rick, please, on the German side. Do we have any German speaking? Do we have any hands up?
Someone could put their hand up if they are a German speaking translator. That would be good.
We need them, otherwise today will be the big problem. They're all pure Germans. We have two.
Okay, Katja and Iris.
Yeah, bring both
Oh.
of them up. If one misses one thing, the other one can translate for us. Promote both of them, please.
We have Imgard as well. So
Okay.
we have
Three.
between three, should make one.
We should make one. Let them three come in and let them translate. Can we have from the management of the KFSSI Foundation, if we can play the first video, please? This is the KFSSI Foundation Center, Space Center in Linz. You can see different angle. We're trying to get it much better. So let's listen to it.
Mein Name ist Paul Funk und ich möchte kurz über meine Erlebnisse in dieser Einheit erzählen. Es war eine sehr interessante geistige Reise für mich,
It was a very interesting spiritual
die
journey for
vom
me.
ersten Stuhl an, von ersten Position, die ich eingenommen habe, immer
From
besser
the
wurde.
first position,
Und
it went
ich werde mal kurz sagen, die Eindrücke von dem
better
ersten Stuhl. Da hatte ich
Could
keine
you please wait till he speaks
so
and then at the
Empfindungen.
end, if you can translate?
Es
We
war
can stop it every few seconds. We stop, that you can translate, and then we start again. That'll be the best way. Okay, can you please? Can you go ahead?
eigentlich mehr ein Druck so auf den Kopf, wo ich den Eindruck hatte, dass ich mich nicht richtig konzentrieren kann und eine geistige Reise war eher schwer.
there was a pressure on my head, and the spiritual or mental so-called journey or experience first was not possible or able. He was not able to had any spiritual insights first on the first seat.
Auf dem zweiten Stuhl war es angenehm und angenehmer und da konnte ich mir geistig vorstellen, gewisse Ziele zu erreichen, so wie Bilder. Ich konnte mir die ranzoomen, näher kommen, doch
On the second seat, it was much better. He could imagine or visualize pictures and zoom pictures in his consciousness or awareness there.
meine Ziele, wo ich hin wollte, zum Beispiel am Mond, die lagen alle in einer Blase. Und diese Blase konnte ich irgendwie nicht, konnte ich nicht reinkommen, nicht durchdringen. Am dritten Stuhl
But first, it was like he couldn't reach the goals. He couldn't touch those pictures. He wanted to go to the moon, but the pictures were first like in a bubble. He couldn't enter.
ging das geistige Reisen etwas leichter. Da öffnete sich immer ein Kanal und ich konnte in diese Räume reinkommen. Die Blase war verschwunden.
And then suddenly the bubble disappeared or vanished, and there were rooms he could enter. Rooms opened up. and channels
Doch
too.
ich schwebte geistig in diesen Räumen. Ich konnte den Boden nicht erreichen. Ich hatte mir vorgestellt, zum Beispiel auf den Mond zu kommen, dann konnte ich den Boden aber nicht erreichen und nicht fühlen. Ich schwebte irgendwie auf der Mondoberfläche.
Okay, he was not walking, but flying. And after he could enter those rooms, had no feet, but he was, kind of flying, and he was on the moon then. No gravity at
Dann
all, so
kam
to
ich
say.
in die Einheit und da ging das wieder etwas besser oder viel besser, viel leichter, das geistige Reisen. Ich konnte die gleichen Ziele wieder erreichen, die ich mir vorgestellt hatte. Ich kam auf den Mond. Ich konnte den Boden fühlen. Ich konnte den Sand sehen, die Steine sehen. Ich konnte sogar einen Stein in die Hand nehmen und ich konnte den Stein fühlen. Ich konnte mir den Himmel ansehen, die Gegend ansehen und konnte sogar die Erde von dem Mond ansehen.
Okay, and then it was much better, and he even landed on the moon. He could walk there, he could stand there with his feet, touch or put sand in his hand and a stone, and could watch the sky, the universe, and Earth, the planet Earth.
Die Gestalt, die ich hatte, ich habe immer jedes Mal meine Hände betrachtet, die waren aber nicht meine menschlichen Hände und auch die Füße, die waren behaart. Es kam aber einen zweiten Zustand in dieser Einheit, wo
Okay, like Mr. Kish told before, he watched his or he looked at his hand and feet there on the moon, and they were full of hair. In German, we say behaart, really like a hand or feet of a monkey.
man irgendetwas geändert hatte, weiß ich nicht weiß genau, was das war, wo Geräusche wahrgenommen habe. Und in dem Moment konnte ich zum Mond reisen, da konnte ich wieder meine Hände sehen, die gleiche Empfindung, aber ich war jetzt nicht mehr in einem anderen Körper, sondern es war mein eigener menschlicher Körper. Ich konnte die Hände, meine Füße, ich war barfuß, konnte ich wahrnehmen und sonst war alles gleich.
Okay, he could switch his appearance, and suddenly he switched from being a so-called appearing like a monkey, then he switched to appearing as a human again. He looked at his hands and his feet and was himself again, his human body again. On the moon, still on the moon.
Ich konnte mir noch vorstellen, in andere Räume zu schweben und zum Beispiel in die Meerestiefe und auch im Innern der Erde. Da konnte ich relativ gut den Boden fühlen. Es war sehr steinig und ich konnte das Plätschern von Wasser hören und sehen. Ich konnte eine Art Sonne sehen, die aber ganz anders war als unsere Sonne, sondern eher wie ein silbernes Licht und nicht so strahlend.
Okay, I don't know if his if he is back on planet Earth again or still in Moon. But now he has a deep connection to water, to ocean, and he talks about the inner Earth, that he touches inner Earth, and he could see a light similar to the sun, but it had more. It was more of the color silver, not golden, not the sun we can see on Earth in our daily life.
Es war eine besondere Erfahrung und nach dieser Einheit bin ich wieder zurück auf den Stuhl Nummer 3, 2 und 1 und da hat sich meine Erfahrung, wie schon vorher gesagt, wieder bestätigt, dass ich dann immer schwerer geistig reisen konnte, vom Stuhl 3 zu 2 und zu 1.
Okay, then he went back or came back to seat 3, 2, 1, and with every seat, it was harder for him to make a spiritual journey or experience, spiritual realms and the moon. He came back with every seat. He came more back in this so-called dimension or reality.
Das war halt meine Erfahrung.
That was his experience.
Thank you very much. Now you, with this latter part, understand that when we spoke about chair 1, 2, and 3, we prepare you for a flight, and then we decommission you, as you call it, back to physicality. We can't bring you out of the machine and let you go, because you still be in what I call a space level, in the dimension of the flight simulation, because this is the correct way to do it. We bring you back, as I say, we hear every one of them talk as they go from 3 to 1, they come back to the dimension of physicality. In a way, we have proven the way we set up is the correct way. I have to tell you why I do this. And can you close your microphone, please? And other flight system in the universe, we use this system. I'm a man of the universe, in the cause of the man. These things, these structures are not coincidental. We commission to go to space, we commission you back. You commission to go to a specific place in the universe. You can only go there because your body accepts it. In the future teachings, in future programs, I explain to you now. If we condition system 3, chair number 3, to only for fit to go to Mars, you cannot go to Jupiter, you cannot go anywhere else. And this is the beauty with this technology. At the moment, we give you a complex universal system. So in a way, we can say only Chinese can go to America, to this state. So that's all they can do. This is part of the security program which we unravel to the governments for what they want to have a control in many ways. But many of us have to have. Otherwise, you get lost in the space. It's not for the control government, but if you're not specified to go, you can end up in another universe. How are we going to get you back? This is why, if you go back in the teaching some years ago, and over years, I explained to you, you pretest the condition of the where you're going to, how you're going to look. You do that here. You do that in the vertical systems. Now you understand even why we build this vertical system and what we call communication transportation. And this gentleman and the others exactly tell you again and again, when they come back from 3 to 1 from the system, it's like when you go deep diving, you have to go to what we call decommissioning, detoxification from the gases in your body. This time is much easier. Within minutes, they can do. A guy came in, Marble, he just literally flew between the chairs. And I was wondering, why is he doing this for? he was so anxious to get into the flight system. I've never seen anybody. By the time I went back in, it was 3 years ago, going in. He didn't go through the full journey. And coming back was the same. That's why we take time. We have a couple, you see the wife later on, she'll explain the journey she went through, and the husband went through a different journey. And the amazing thing is, except 1 or 2, they were all what we call the old Keshe Foundation knowledge seekers, the mature in their 50s and 60s and 70s. We're not playing with children. These are people who know exactly what is, and they've been supporting the Keshe Foundation for years and years. They are knowledge seekers with a lot of credibility to understand everything which goes with the Keshe Foundation. They're not people who just came in yesterday. And you will see, I'm not going to explain what happens with the second person. I want you to listen to it. This is going to shock you. He's coming back again, and we put him through the system. You remember what I told you about this gentleman just now? We put him back in the system, and he straight away could go to the moon and go exactly where it is and collect sand or stones for us. We hear from him in the future again, because we're going to call him in. He is switch on. He never loses that contact. Listen to this one, and then I'm sure many of you will be shocked in what is about to come and how we're going to use this again. Can we have the tape number 2, please?
Ja, also in der Unit bin ich gewesen und da wollte ich eigentlich Jesus sehen und ein Geschenk machen für den Herrn Keshe. Und ich wollte immer eine Verbindung machen, aber ich habe es nicht richtig geschafft. Und
Shall I translate or Katja?
Please, yes, please.
Okay.
Can you translate, please? Yeah.
Yes. When this man went into the unity, wanted to see Jesus, because he wanted to bring back this experience for you, Mr. Keshe.
ich bin aber bis dahin gekommen, da habe ich von der Ferne, da war das Fenster und dann ist eine Gebirgskette gewesen. Und auf einem Berggipfel ist dann so ein Licht erschienen und das hat dann sind Strahlen weggegangen.
It first was rather dark, and he saw mountains far away, and on the top of one mountain there was a sparkling light like a star, and rays were there, light rays.
Und ja, ich wollte dann, Herr Keshe hat mir dann noch ein Glas Wasser gegeben und dann habe ich versucht, dass ich sage, Jesus sollte bitte Liebe in das Glas Wasser geben, aber ob es dann funktioniert hat, weiß ich nicht.
Okay, he said Mr. Keshe gave him a glass of water, and he then asked Jesus, I don't know in which realms that was, in reality, if I had a glass of water in the unit, but he then asked Jesus to give his love into the water, but he was not sure if it worked. He just asked for
Ja.
love.
Ich wollte dann nur mehr eine Verbindung machen, aber ich habe es halt leider nicht mehr geschafft. Bin nicht weitergekommen. Das war es eigentlich.
Mhm. So it was a little bit disappointing for him because he wanted to bring much more energy of love, or yeah, so to say, an amount of love back, but he couldn't. It was not as fulfilling as if he wanted it. There was a desire or wish when he went into the unit to bring it back as a gift, but it was not totally possible for him. Yes. But he tried. Yes. That's it.
Thank you very much. You got to realize these people, when they go through and come out through this, they're very emotional.
Was für ein Gefühl das ich gehabt habe. Ja, ich weiß nicht. Ich habe mir überdacht, ich möchte noch mehr erreichen, aber ich habe es halt nicht geschafft und das hat mich ein bisschen gestört.
Okay. As I said before, he wanted to reach a higher goal, but he was disappointed of himself that he couldn't bring more love. Yeah, that's what he said.
Would you take the flight again? You would go again?
Nein, ich verstehe das nicht. Tut mir leid.
Okay. Dankeschön.
Ja.
For the interview. Dankeschön.
Okay.
He is coming back on Monday. His wish was to bring back the love of Christ. And when he explained to us, when he saw the light, he knew it was the soul of Christ. And like the other pilot we had, he's going to go back into the system. And now that we have found the connection that with him as could be possible to see the light, the soul of the Christ, we see how we can expand it. To what extent this will go. And we'll bring back to you again what he will see. As I said, it's interesting that again he was given in a physical dimension the cup. We were not aware that he was looking for Christ. He never told us anything until he came out. And he could carry the cup with the water in it. The cups were all empty. It was them to fulfill it. And it's interesting how these things will develop between the physicality and the soul. The soul does all the talking, but the physicality accepts the cup and takes the cups to the soul. These are the things we said for a long time. And this is the reason for the rebirth of Mitra. And that's why she's among us and a creator at the same time. One can go from one dimension to another. I would like you to listen to this one. This one is going to shock you. If she has recorded what she told us. You see here a few minutes of the talk. We spent a little bit more longer to go deeper. When they all come out of the room, they're all thirsty. It's amazing how thirsty. They just want water. In a way, to use the water, I understand why. It confirmed that in the dimension of the physical life, water is a sign of life. And it's very interesting. Listen to this one. The third one brings you a bigger shock. To me, has brought a new dimension of the capability of the system harmonies to come. Would you like to play the third video, please?
Ja, guten Tag. Ich bin die Anita Burtscher und habe meinen Mann begleitet hier ins Keshe-Zentrum, um mit ihm die Reise zu machen.
Okay, this is the wife of the man. I don't know who was talking previously. And accompanied her husband.
Ich bin irgendwie noch ganz benommen, weil das soeben vor ein paar Minuten geschehen ist.
She can hardly talk because, yeah, the experience which happened was or is still so deep.
Wir sind gemeinsam in den Raum getreten und saßen auf dem ersten Stuhl. Da spürte ich nicht sehr viel. Dann habe ich einfach versucht, meine Gedanken loszulassen und habe nebenbei auf der anderen Seite nur meinen Mann gehört.
Together they entered the unit, and first she didn't feel a lot and tried to letting go their thoughts. She only recognized or felt her husband.
Und dann kam ich auf den zweiten Stuhl. Da habe ich dann gemerkt, wie der Körper leichter wird und meine Gedanken ebenfalls. Ich wollte alles loslassen, damit ich nicht kopfgesteuert dieses Erlebnis habe.
On the second chair, her body, her physical body and her thoughts got more lightful and bright.
Ja, und auf einmal kam der Gedanke oder der Wunsch, auf den Mond zu fliegen, was vorher für mich nicht in Frage kam. Und so freute ich mich innerlich, etwas erleben zu dürfen. Ich war also überzeugt, dass ich das erleben werde. Und dann wechselte ich auf den dritten Stuhl.
And then suddenly the wish appeared to go to the moon. She didn't have that wish or this wish when she entered the unit. And then she went to the third chair. Sorry.
Und da war es mir innerlich klar, dass ich diese Reise jetzt machen darf. Ja, und vom Körperlichen her habe ich einfach bestimmte Regionen immer wieder gespürt, die vibriert haben. Aber für mich war das eigentlich alles okay. Ich habe auch gar nicht den Augenmerk dahin geleitet.
And then she was very glad and happy to make this journey to the moon, to be able to, or to be invited to make this journey. She felt several regions, so to say, in her body, full of vibration, which vibrated in her physical body.
Und dann kam die Maschine dran und da saß ich nun drinnen und erwartete ganz gespannt, was jetzt da passieren wird und habe zuerst gar nichts gespürt und plötzlich war ich nicht auf dem Mond. Ich war eigentlich nirgends. Ich habe das alles eher auf einer Gefühlsebene erlebt.
And suddenly, she didn't really feel, first she didn't really feel a lot, and then she felt that she wasn't on the moon, not at all. Somewhere else, she cannot define it or couldn't define it, but not on the moon.
Es hat
Instead,
sich
she
bei
was
mir
in her
ein
feelings. Instead of in a
Yes.
place, she was in her feelings.
Yes. First, she didn't feel a lot, and then there were feelings, right?
Feld geöffnet, so Art wie eine Rasenfläche. Und eine wunderschöne Dame kam aus dem Hintergrund und erklärte, sie sei Mitra.
Okay. Whew. Then grass appeared, or yeah, in German we say Grasfläche, and a woman appeared and said she was Mitra.
Da war ich natürlich ganz perplex, aber ich habe gespürt, ganz tief im Herzen, dass das die Wahrheit für mich ist. Es ist Mitra.
Okay, and deep in her heart, she truly felt that's the truth. It's Mitra.
Und dann war ich so gerührt und ich spürte eine ganz tiefe Demut und Gnade, dass ich das da erleben durfte. Und ja, mir kamen auch die Tränen, Tränen der Freude. Und dann sah ich immer mehr wunderschöne Frauen auf dem Feld sich bewegen.
She felt a deep inner grace and humbleness, and tears of joy run out of her eyes, or came out of her eyes. And then many women appeared behind Mitra. A lot of women appeared suddenly.
Und die Stimmung war so wunderschön, leicht, ja, einfach wunderschön.
And the whole atmosphere was bright and light and even joyful, beautiful, magnificent.
Und dann wurde ich darauf aufmerksam oder gefragt, ob ich jetzt rausgehen möchte. Und das war gerade dieser Moment, wo ich einfach mehr von den anderen Frauen erfahren wollte. Und dann bin ich einfach noch, habe ich mich da drinnen in dieser Szene mich ein bisschen bewegt. Und auf der einen Seite verspürte ich gleich eine Traurigkeit, dass ich da jetzt diesen Platz verlassen muss.
And then she was asked a question, do you want to stay or do you want to leave? And she felt, yes, I have to leave soon, but first she wanted to know more about those women. She felt sad inside then as she thought about leaving. She wanted to stay and know more about those women, those beautiful women there.
Aber ich habe auch ganz tief gespürt, dass ich dieses Gefühl für mein zukünftiges Leben auf jeden Fall mitnehmen darf. Und dann ging es wieder zurück auf Platz 3, 2 und 1. Und das Gefühl wurde von einem Stuhl zum anderen immer schwächer.
And as her husband said before, she came then back on seat 3, 2, and 1. And with every seat, the feeling was less strong. But she said she can carry this beautiful feeling of being among those women and in this magnificent atmosphere from now on, inside in her heart for her whole life.
Bis ich wieder rausgehen musste. Es war ein wunderbares Erlebnis. Und im Nachhinein, wie ich rauskam, stellte ich eigentlich fest, dass mein innigster Wunsch war, einen Kanal zu meinem höheren Ich öffnen zu dürfen. Und ich glaube oder ich bin überzeugt, da ist was geschehen in diese Richtung.
When she went outside the unit again, she got aware that her deepest inner wish was to get a connection to her own higher I or self, and that was possible.
Und ich danke auch der Keshe Foundation.
And she's deeply grateful to the whole Cash Foundation and for the whole work they do.
Now you see the surprise. And I'm sure in a coming time, many of you bring us gifts from different structures. At the moment, we are very involved with the human side, what happened on this planet, what we see as part of. In the coming time, we will see world leaders. We know some of the ones we always yearn to know more about will be amongst us through the soul. They will tell us where they are buried, where we lost the burial grounds of them. They will tell us what they did and how they feel about ruling and being the leaders. We will see a new dimension in understanding. And as I said, we don't question. We are listeners. Especially you listen to this as a recording. I stand in front of these people. I know the soul inside and I know the soul in the system. And it brings me back a lot of joys. We know the changes will come and we'll see one by one of you as you go through the system. You'll bring us new gifts. On average, 4 or 5 out of 10 people, reluctantly, maybe a little, would like to come and record. But the emotion and what happened gets written. We hold a folder on every emotion they write. It didn't take long for Jesus to appear, and Mitra did not wait long, waiting for a long time to appear this way. We'll bring these people back because they have a link, they have established a line to them. And I'm sure Mitra will tell us about the birth of her daughter. I'm sure we'll come to understand the presence of Jesus and we'll start asking questions. The first time is excitement. Next time become logical understanding because you'll become the messenger between what is and what has been, and then we can together bring some sanity to human race, understanding of what's been the truth. We're going to listen to the fourth one, and this is a very long one. We try to cut it half or somewhere because it's a very emotional experience. This gentleman sitting in the system, I said to him, would you like to apply? He says, I didn't come here to apply. I have come here for a spiritual experience, and he tells you what he goes through. A lot of people come, they don't come for at all to fly. They come to see, to experience. And interesting enough, he flies, but he doesn't want to land on the moon because he didn't want to, but he was there to be done. So he tried to understand it. And then we come to stop. We finish for today. And then we have a session of 10 people. On Monday, we try to run a session on Tuesday. And again, sometime on Thursday when we have a session on Wednesday. And it's interesting what is coming up. It's interesting how we have opened the channel to the soul of the man, physicality of the man, working together to achieve things. And the biggest thing for us is in the near future, once we start going through, when we bring people on the repetition of the next extension, we'll give them a camera. See if they can record Christ. See the lady can connect to Mitra and video the beauty of the most beautiful being of the universe. And we'll see if we can capture those on man's dimension of matter state of chaos. It'll be interesting. We might get it totally blank, nothing on it. Maybe you see it. I know the answer, but let's see what comes up. And then I'll tell you why sometimes you see and sometimes you don't see. Would you like to show the last one and then we say goodbye after it? But listen to this man who hasn't come to fly.
Hallo, mein Name ist Gabriel und ich möchte auch gerne einen Erfahrungsbericht abgeben. Ich versuche es in Englisch und die Wörter, die mir in Englisch nicht gut einfallen, sodass ich das ganze Bild auch gut darstellen kann, das würde ich dann kurz in Deutsch wiedergeben.
Hello, I'm Gabriel, and I also want to talk about my experiences in the unit. I try to speak English, and the words I cannot find easily in English, I gonna talk in German then.
So, my name is Gabriel, and today it was the 10th of June, and I was here, my first experience with the new enhancement unit, and I want to tell you some feelings what's happened with me. I come here. I'm had a good journey. The journey was yesterday, and I slept overnight here, and everything is fine. I don't have any diseases, no bad feelings. So I'm feeling good, and come here, and we filled out the papers, and yes, and then it was time to go to the room, and Mr. Keshe did some instruction to us, and we go on the first chair.
Would you
first
like
chair
to
is the
stop to be
physicality,
translated in
and
German?
I feel.
Pardon?
Would you like to translate in German, or will we wait if there is a German part you translate to English? Because I think he speaks both, he explains everything in two languages.
Okay.
Okay,
So,
just wait for him when he goes German, then translate for us, please.
He now spoke in English. Shall I translate
Yes.
to German? Okay, also.
Yeah, I think he'll translate himself things to German later on. I wasn't there, I wasn't present when he did. If he doesn't, then you can add to it, please.
Okay.
Okay, thank you very much. So let's listen.
Mm-hmm.
At the moment, where I sitting on the first chair, I feel it starts in my head. something is so the energy is raising up in my head. So something here around was that there is happening something, and then it moves. Some after minutes it moves back to my shoulders, and then I feel coldness, and then because I normally I cannot good breathe in with my nose because it's a little bit closed, and then something happens and my nose opened, and my breathing to the nose was better now, and I give a big thank you and thank you. Okay, I can take a deep breath through my nose. It was now it's also open. I can feel it. It is better than before. Yes. um, then I let time go. Let time go. I don't have anything in my mind. I try to concentrate to my briefness and just let go and see what happened. And yes, it was a long time inside the first chair, and then then I change. What I forget to say it, I was not alone in this room. There was another guy who I don't know him. He was also in this room, and one guy was also um, in the new enhancement unit, and one woman was in the other enhancement unit. So we was 4 people in the whole room, just to know, and they are all a new um, yeah, new visitors. And when we come inside this room, we don't know. Okay, is this a team? He has experience or not, or is this? But it was like me the first time here, and um, yes. And then I moved to the second chair. The second chair is the soul of the physicality, and I cannot really remember what happened there. My feeling was the work was not so inside the body, so it was a little bit outside of the body. The work, that the system works with me with the outside, so maybe with the aura of the body or something like that. It's hard to describe. And then I moved to the third chair, and then it feels like okay, it's go more outside or more the connection to above. I let it go. I do nothing, and I enjoy it. And yeah, then Mr. Keshe. So each step, Mr. Keshe come into the room and said, so now we can change a chair if you want, or so please go there, please go there, and they organized the positions of the man and the woman. And then I come to my own enhancement unit. I was alone in this enhancement unit. I get the electrodes or the handhelds in my hand, sitting there, and yeah, my mm, my wishes was that not I decide what I want to fly, that my ghost leaders, yeah, and the creator or my soul can decide where I can to fly or I have to fly to make some experience, to make, I don't know. So I just give it up to above, and so now I'm able to fly. Let's go. And then nothing happens at the first time. Um, okay, I wait. And then where my thinking so flying away, the first idea come in. Okay, try to lift it up. Okay, so I imagine with my handhelds. Okay, let's fly above, and I can feel it. It was not physicality; it was like a feeling. So okay, now I'm flying. Okay, now I'm elevated. Okay, turn left. Okay, right. Okay, turn around. So each exercise I tried. Okay, it's very easy to to handle the ship. And then yeah, okay, now I can fly. What can I do? Let's go to the moon. Let's fly to the moon and see how it is. And I imagine just, okay, fly to the moon. And I fly to the moon, not on the moon, but nearby. So I fly just to have a look. Okay, what's there, looking there, and then I fly there. And it's difficult to describe what I have seen because it was a shiny surface, and then I walk around, and this was a darker surface. Maybe flat, maybe a ball. It's hard to describe. So I have just a feeling of this moon. It was a bit coldness. And then okay, this is the moon. Doesn't matter. Let's go to another planet. Let's choose the opposite. Let's choose the sun. So I try to fly to the sun. Let's go to the sun. And I fly to the sun, but it was just a small brighty point. It was not a big sun, it was just a small point, and I see, okay, this is the sun. Okay. Let's fly to Venus or to Pleiada. And I try to the Pleiada system. And then, okay, let's fly back to the Earth. Let's see how looks the Earth. It is round, it's flat. How look it? Because there are so many different meanings about the shape of the Earth. And then I see my picture. So it was not round, it was like flat, with a couple and with something under the flat. And I've seen it's okay. Well, looks like this. It feels for me more like a truth as the ball, just for me. And then I try. Okay, go back to here. I flying back to here. So I was landing in this room here. And then I let go and see. Okay, what can be the next? And then I try. Okay, let's have a visit on my spiritual guide. He is living close to Germany. He calls Sananda, Geistheiler Sananda. He is my spiritual guy. He is for me the lightest man here on earth, and he showed me all the love and the knowledge of Jesus or Jesus Christ. He read it in his books, and I want to visit him in his flat. So he live in a flat. I fly to him and say hello to give my thankness, to my love to him for all what he is giving to me. So then I can give a little bit back when I visit him, and to show him, hello Sananda, I have something here. Maybe you can see it, maybe not. Doesn't matter. We have here a new technology. Maybe you can share it with your clients. Maybe you can spread it out also as a multiplicator. And I say hello to his dog, and I feel the love from him. I feel the love from myself. It was very, very good. And then I say goodbye. Thank you for what you given me. I want to give back my love, what I can. And then I say, okay, goodbye, Sananda. I fly him back to here. And then I'm landing here again. And it was, I'm here. And then a little bit playing with the ship. So left, right, up and down. I try to feel the ship, how it feels again. And I say, okay, it's enough. It's enough. And I'm just sitting here, sitting there, and then that's enough. And then I move out of the shipment. And Mr. Cassius tell us, okay, so each guy can decide. So we are four guys inside the room, and each guy can decide which chair he want to sit. So we have two chairs in one enhancement unit, in the first one, and two chairs in the second enhancement unit, and we have the 6 chairs, 1 to 3, 1 to 3, and then we can choose one what we want. So and I start to scan the room. Okay, where I have to go, and it was very clear. Okay, this chair. It was the 3rd chair of this one unit. What I'm sitting there, and I'm sitting there, and I don't have the electrodes in my hands. So I just put the hands like this. I'm sitting here, and yeah, the hand like this, also like this. Just as my typical meditation Haltung. I don't know. And then it began, and then this was the beginning of a big emotional starting. So this was a very huge emotional start. It was inside. I was in my own very intensive own feeling. Tears coming out, and I was very emotional. Also so eine Mischung aus Trauer und Liebe. So a mixing of fearness and love. It's hard to say. Maybe they want to something go out, let it go. Some Trauer, Fearness. Ich weiß nicht, ob Fearness das richtige Wort ist für Trauer. Also Trauer durfte da sein und sehr intensiv und auch sehr lange. Und dann hatte ich, unter anderem ich habe noch was vergessen, in der Einheit, wo ich rumgeflogen bin, kam dann am Ende dann auch noch der Wunsch, ich möchte zur Liebe Gottes fliegen. Und das war dann, das war so ein schöner Wunsch. Und das habe ich dann auch sofort gespürt. Ich möchte zur Liebe Gottes fliegen. I want to fly to the love of God. This was at the end of this enhancement unit. At the end, I have this wish, and I fly to the love. I feel the fly to the love, just the feeling. And then in the now I'm coming back to the third chair. Yes, so the tears are coming out, and very emotional. And then again, the wish comes up in my mind. I want to fly to the love of the Creator, or of God. And then I feel it. And in the next step, I move to my son, to the love of my son, to the love of my my wife. And then I switch to my family, to my mom. Yeah, to my parents, and to my sisters and brother, to my brother. And then I switch to the the German community. So all the Germans with soul, I connected with the German with soul, because I know there are very many people without soul, and I connected with the soul of Germany, or the Germania soul, and I feel the strength. yeah, I feel the strength, and then the wish coming up in my mind. Okay, let's do. Let's try to give. Let's try to give to enhance the German soul. What I can do. So maybe some um, yeah, some inputs come inside. What I can do for the for the good for the people with soul. Maybe especially the German community. Let's see what happens. So this is now open, and then I move to the second chair, and I feel okay now. I'm coming back, more back, and then I move to the first chair, and I feel more heaviness. So I feel my body back. So it feels like okay, now I'm a little bit heavier. And I said thank you for all this experience. Ich hab, and I have thank you my body that he make this possible. Yeah. Yeah, and then I go out, and then I tell this Mr. Keshe. He asked me what I have what's happened, and then I tell this what I've told here, and then yeah, I drink a water, and I have to say thank you, and it was very nice, and I can just tell I can ja ja, ich möchte euch einladen, hierher zu kommen, um das auch zu erleben. Ich bin ohne Erwartung hergekommen, ohne irgendetwas, und es ist so viel passiert. Hätte ich nicht gedacht. Aber es ist nun mal passiert, und darüber bin ich sehr froh. Genau. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you for the most wonderful experience. Very touching, very soul enhancing, and thank you for sharing your experience, the way you just shared it, and for sharing it with humanity,
You can share it, yeah.
the German community, on a soul level, which is unlimited and reaches beyond. As you've just said, you've gone to the essence of the creation. And I'd like to thank you from my soul, and bless your soul for the beauty that you've just shown us. And thank you so much for your incredible beauty. You make me very proud to be present in your with you. You have shown such dignity and beauty. Thank you. Thank you.
Beautiful, beautiful soul. I love you dearly. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. If you would like to stop the video, we see everyone takes his own journey in this craft of the universe. I brought you a gift, and it's for humanity to understand this gift and use it for change, not only in the human society, but beyond. People of the universe now look at humanity to guide them as they have experienced the wrong way, that they will teach them that they never go wrong. And hopefully my wish is human race learns this and would not make the mistakes of the tribe of Moses. Now that the man is given a chance to change, he understands the pain of killing, destroying, and he'll change it that no one will kill in the universe. It's a heavy responsibility. But as we see more and more, you've got to realize that the system absorbs all the emotions of those who communicate, and the encyclopedia of the human race systems. I have invited the French language nationals to come to this. We have the Italians. We need those from other races, the Greeks, the Norwegians, the ones from the United Kingdom, and those from the Arab nations to make their way in, to increase it. You will see these connections. The next generation of people who come out the week after and the week after, they bring us a more mature picture because now they're added and they're using the solar once again. It was a beautiful day yesterday, and I'm sure Monday will be another one. We'll see what the message are. We know the gentleman who has made a contact with Jesus because he felt his presence. Will be back with us on Monday. See if we can develop it. And then maybe we can record Jesus for you all to see the true face of his majesty. Thank you for being with us. We don't have anything. We just bring you the truth in what it is and what has been, and the people explain what they see. We most probably see on Tuesday night or Tuesday morning, depends how we get it going. And then most probably sometime on Thursday or Friday, you will see the Wednesday session. Thank you very much for being with us. And I hope we brought you some joys of what is to come for human race. Thank you very much, Liz. Thank you very much. The whole Application Foundation in the background, especially the team working in the background, making these systems to make humanity to see what is to come. It's a beautiful job. And we'll see more and we'll learn more together as we go through. Thank you very much for today, and see you most probably sometime next week.
Mr. Kesh, will there be a testimonial on Monday? We do have the testimonials meeting, the regular second meeting.
By the time we finish, it's 8, 9 o'clock at night. 7, 8.
That's when the testimonials is at 8 p.m.
Yeah, you don't expect us to go straight jump in after
Okay.
10, 12 hours of solid time. We keep these testimonials of the flight separate and compile it that way. Maybe you want to keep it number 1, 2, and 3, and then we'll see where we go. We are on number 2 today. So if you want to keep the next one and the date and the time, and then people can refer to the date and the time. It's going to be 2 or 3 sessions a week of these things, and then we'll see. I expect in the coming time, we'll see the soul of the Shah of Iran. We go back to Dariush. We know his soul is awaiting. We'll see with the pleasure the soul of Mao Zedong. I have personally invited Mandela. And we know what is to come. We'll go back to Gandhi and let's see how they see and how it will be. Participation by all nations will come through one or the other. We invite the world leaders in the next few weeks to make their way to this. We invite in public. And as we did the ambassador meeting, we'll make the world leaders meeting to come in and open the path for peace. In the next few weeks, invitation go to His Excellency President Biden. And the same day, we invite His Eminence Ayatollah Khamenei of Iran to be present at this. We go through our way and not through their ambassadors and to their governors. And we shall see what we'll achieve in bringing peace. I thank you for today, and I thank the whole of the Keshe Foundation, the whole of Team Immense, which makes it possible every day to go to another day. And thank you very much to many of you as you see the new cycle of the man. Thank you, Rick. See you next week.
Great. Thank you very much, Mr. Kesh. Okay, this has been the second Space Travel Simulation Testimonials meeting. And speaking of testimonials, I remind people that on Monday the 13th, we have the regular testimonials meeting for people that have testimonials of the plasma technology that they'd like to let the public know about. And we appreciate all kinds of input on that program. So please consider paying back for your knowledge of the plasma technology by sharing it with others. And that starts at 8 p.m. Central European Time on Monday, June 13th. Okay, thank you everyone for being here. And we'll see you in the next public teaching workshop.